The draft is the most efficient way to take a WNBA team from the bottom of the standings to the top of the standings. Today I'll be ranking the top 10 drafts in league history. A few notes before we get into the list. It's too early to evaluate the draft so far in the 2020, so 2020 through 2024, we will not be including those drafts in this ranking. Also, players drafted from the ABL, look at 1999 where you had Yolanda Griffith. Some of these players, like Griffith, were in the middle of their prime or after their prime when they were drafted, so just different situation compared to a regular college or teenage international prospect. Just to explain a little bit more of my process before we get into the top 10, there were 22 drafts from 1997 to 2019, so to cut that list down, I eliminated every draft that did not have 3 multi-time All-Stars at minimum, so that brought it from 22 to 13, which made it a lot easier to get down to 10. So I have 2 draft classes in my A- tier. The order doesn't matter as much as it is the tiers, but at number 10, I have the 2014 WNBA Draft. No MVP winners yet, maybe AT gets one, but 4 players that have made an All-W team, 7 multi-time All-Stars, that combines to 23 total All-Star appearances. Like I said, Alyssa Thomas, Natasha Howard, Alicia Gray, Kayla McBride. McBride is one of the best shooters in league history. Gray is an athletic driver, super fun in that category. Natasha Howard has won a Defensive Player of the Year award, and then AT is someone that could possibly be a number 1 or number 2 on a title team. The reason this draft isn't higher is just the fact that there isn't that player that has already done it. The same goes for the 2006 draft. These are just elite sidekicks. So you got Simone Augustus, Cappie Pondexter, and Sophia Young-Malcolm. Young-Malcolm played alongside Becky Hammon, Pondexter with Diana Taurasi, Augustus alongside Maya Moore. But in 2006, these players combined for 25 All-Star appearances among the 4 players that were multi-time All-Stars. 3 players made All-W teams, which is the 3 players you can see on the screen. No MVP winners, which is why they are both of these drafts are in the A- tier. Moving on to the A tier, I have 2018, 2019, and 2011. So starting it off with 2018, they are number 8 on this list because of one player, and there's some other good players. It's not just A'ja Wilson, but A'ja Wilson is why this draft is so high. One of the best players ever, and she is in the middle of one of the greatest peaks in league history. She's having an awesome season, one of the best seasons we've ever seen. So 1 MVP winner and then 2 MVPs so far, probably going to be 3 after this season. 1 All-W player, that is A'ja. But there's also some All-Star players. You know, you have Ariel Atkins, Kelsey Mitchell. Jordan Canada is also from this draft. Isn't an All-Star, but is one of the best point guards in the world. So 2018 is here because of A'ja, who's won multiple titles, can be a number 1 on a championship team. She's proven that. But at number 7, I have the 2019 WNBA Draft. No MVP winners here yet, and Nafisa Collier, I believe, is going to get one. They also have Jackie Young, who was an All-W player last year and will be one this year, I think. Ezzie Mabigor, one of the best defenders in the league. Enrique, awesome scorer. So 3 All-W players, and this is the youngest class of the ones we'll talk about in this video. So I'm banking in a little bit of upside that they're going to get more honors and more awards here. So 2019 is at number 7, and then at number 6, to round out this A tier, I have the 2011 WNBA Draft. You could make a case for them being higher, but for me, it's just the top 5 is so good. They have an MVP winner in Maya Moore, one of the best players ever. Her prime was cut short, just wanting to retire and focus on stuff outside of basketball. But 3 All-W players, 4 multi-time All-Stars. That includes Courtney Vandersloot, also Moore, Jasmine Thomas, and then Elizabeth Cambage. Just an awesome draft in general, but I would just say the depth is not the greatest in this draft, so I just couldn't make the case for them to be higher. Moving to the A+ tier, I have 4 drafts here, 2013, 2004, 2016, and 2008. To start off with 2013, this draft is stacked at the top 3. One of the most hyped top 3 drafts we've ever seen in terms of Elena Delle Donne, Brittney Griner, and Skylar Diggins-Smith all have lived up to the hype and more. 1 MVP winner, which is EDD, 2-time winner. There's 3 All-W players, and there's 3 multi-time All-Stars. The reason this draft isn't higher is just depth, in my opinion. And with this 2004 draft, which I have at number 4, compared to having 3 all-star caliber players in 2013, 2004 has 4. So when you're comparing Taurasi and EDD, similar caliber players in my opinion. The same goes for Diggins Smith and Whalen. Whalen's probably a little bit better, having a championship and has been more available, played more games, but similar caliber players, both point guards. But then you get to Brunson plus Beard is probably more value compared to Brittney Griner's career. Brunson has contributed to championship teams like Whalen in Minnesota, Alana Beard as well. She's won multiple Defensive Player of the Year awards, one of the best wing defenders we've ever seen. So just having that extra player, having longevity with this 2004 class gives them the edge for me. Moving on to number 3 on this ranking, I have the 2016 WNBA Draft, and there's only 3 drafts in league history that have had multiple MVP winners. In 2016 is the first of 3 we'll talk about here. With this draft, Breanna Stewart, Jonquel Jones, Kahleah Copper, Courtney Williams. Stewart and Copper are finals MVPs. Jonquel Jones also is an MVP. Courtney Williams has made all-star teams before. So this draft is awesome, and these players are still in their prime in my opinion. Kahleah Copper has just started hitting extra gear as a player after her finals MVP. She was awesome last year in Chicago. She's been even more awesome this season with Phoenix. Stewie, JJ is an awesome front court in New York. Courtney Williams has also been starting for one of the best teams in Minnesota. So 2016 is just an awesome draft. Even though the 2008 draft will likely end up with less all-W players compared to 2016 when all said and done, this 2008 draft has Candace Parker and Sylvia Fowles, who are, in my opinion, 2 of the 10 best players of all time. Maybe higher if you make the case for that. Fowles is the best defensive big we've seen in this league's history. Candace Parker is one of the most unique stars in basketball history as well. 6'4", point forward, can do everything on the court. So 3 combined MVP awards, 18 combined all-W appearances, and 20 combined all-stars among multi-time all-stars. So not number 1, but 2008 is one of the best draft classes ever. Finally, that brings us to the GOAT draft, and it is 2001. It's going to be hard for a draft to ever be as good as this draft ever in league history. It's going to happen eventually, maybe it's 2024 or 2025, but it's going to be so tough. Not only do they have the most MVP winners combined of any draft, they have the most depth of any draft as well. 2001 has Lauren Jackson, Tamika Catchings, both won MVPs. Jackson won 3, Ketch won 1. They also have Tweety Nolan, Penny Taylor. This draft was so deep I had to add an extra page. There was D'Souza, there was Katie Douglas, there was Tammy Sutton Brown. This is an awesome draft. Erica D'Souza was actually went undrafted in this class. You might not even really tie her name to this draft, but she made 2 all-star teams, and she is probably, the 5th or 6th best player to come from this draft. No doubt lower than 5. And 2 MVP winners, and both of them are top 5 players of all time, and you can make a case for them being like top 3 of all time as well. Like LJ is one of the best centers we've ever seen. Ketch is the best wing we've ever seen. Just an awesome draft. It's going to be near impossible to find a draft with 2 MVP caliber players again and being this high level of MVP caliber players. Like, this is not just like a normal regular MVP like, Tina Charles or even Jonquel Jones. This is 2 of the 5 best players ever, paired with Penny Taylor, Tweety Nolan, Katie Douglas. These are household names, multi-time all-stars, all-W players. 2001 is a one-of-a-kind generational draft. If you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button for more WNBA content covering basketball at all levels, like seriously, from high school to college to international, all on this channel. So if that's your thing, you enjoy fun basketball conversation, not as much about the narratives or just the basketball discourse, I'm here to talk about the game, the history of the game. So if you enjoy that, you're gonna find a lot that you like here. So anyways, I'll see y'all next time.